it's also a real mic. So,
Yeah,
anyone remember the
say,
James, you do here, and I'll do a road trip.
Anyone remember the street number?
Can and will be held against you.
Anyone remember our street number on Tennyson? Is it 1450?
1453.
53?
Yeah.
All right, so we all know where we're at. We're down in the basement. We have a big clean out here. We'll be going down.
Okay, cool, thank you.
So this is all cast
No rush
iron.
at all. There's no rush. Okay, cool.
Give me a second. This is all cast iron. This is the original stuff. Cast iron always looks rough and ugly. And that is clay tile, so we have probably went right out here and then is turning a left and going out along that way.
Towards the alley.
Yeah. Now, anytime you see a flat edge like that, there's not a perfect alignment. So what? As long as it doesn't affect the flow through there. This is catching my camera just a little, but it's because I'm forced right into it. The flow of water actually stays to the left, and we'll go through there fine. And I really didn't have to work to get past that. There's little hints of roots here. Just whenever you see this offset like that, I look at it for, is it badly offset to where it's reducing the pipe diameter? Is it offset with a lip down here that affects flow? Otherwise, we're going to see them in every single clay tile pipe we ever look at. And they don't matter. So far the roots are staying very light. These are very minor at this point. Starting to get there, but we will see.
Sometimes they're so thick you can't even get your
Camera
scope through it.
There's a little bit of standing water, but this root up here might definitely be affecting that, but it's still not enough. Standing water is what I call a belly, and on the report that's what I'm talking about in a belly, and that means the slope of the line is not perfect. We don't get uptight in a 4-inch pipe until that water's up here.
Oh.
Because it's not going to catch that. That root is pretty good size actually, and this next one is ready to be cleaned right now. That's a mass of roots with grease and stuff impacted on it. Hopefully there's a big enough space for me to get under there. We slid under it, but now we are pushing something too. And we've got nasty all over the place. So it will be interesting to see if we can get the lens cleaned up enough without having to take it all the way out. I pushed through a second one too, and we've got more waste in front of the thing right now. I know you can't see that, but it is there, and that was pretty nasty. So at this point, we're just going to keep pushing this chunk out of here, and we're going to hope that the city sewer's got enough running water in it for it to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Or that we run
It looks
through.
like a piece of tinfoil or something.
We've got two we're rolling down through there that got caught on that big one. And there's another root right there. This is definitely due a cleaning. I'd say 5 years is pushing it a little, but she made it. So
Right.
Just her, if you got, I would do it every year and a half. Or 2 years.
I always say 18 to 2.
Yeah.
18 months to 2 years is a good pace, but we're just going to be fighting this all the way, so I'm not going to worry too much about what the structure is. We're going to see if we can just get out to the city, get once and for all. This is all sludge and stuff that's gathered in a little belly that's being caused by that root. So right now, we are just fighting yucky stuff a lot. That's why it's really not worth it to try to pull it all the way back, clean the lens up, and go.
Yeah, right.
We gotta punch through all that stuff again. Another tight little space to get through. We're doing a lot of dropping now. That means we're out there by the alley. We gotta get deep enough to get to the city sewer. And that is it right there on the other side. So now we see if there's enough water in here to get a good clean lens.
How many alligators have you seen?
None.
I'm just kidding.
We've seen critters.
Yeah,
Really?
rats and stuff.
Especially back in the drain cleaning days when we would do work around storm sewers. Down by the flat. Beavers, raccoons,
Wow.
rats. Seen all that. So it's 82 feet long. The tap has roots coming in it, but I don't see any damage around it. It's a union just like all the other clay tile unions. The only obnoxious thing about the tap is the angle it's at. Sometimes it makes it hard to get it real good and clean unless you're good. If you use one of the companies I give you, especially Rocky Mountain Sewer Jet, you will get a good one that can get this. Can't see any damage in there. It's at a steep angle, so even with those roots, nothing's getting hung up there. It'll get washed out. But the line as a whole needs a cleaning. I don't see any damage in there. I just see plenty of roots.
How much is a cleaning?
With a clean out like this, Rocky Mountain's like $155.
Oh
you
my
can
gosh,
get
why
it
doesn't
cheaper.
someone do this every year and a half?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
amazing.
yes.
Especially on these old houses.
Yeah.
And all these trees.
But if it was like $1,000, you can say someone be like, I'm gonna wait till the
Yeah.
2-year.
I think
mark,
people
but-
don't even think about it.
This is another big offset that I want you to know the why of. If they come and tell you that's collapsing or falling apart, they're lying.
Okay.
What this is, it's a union that they tilted sharper than the fittings were designed to do when they installed it. And when you do that, what happens is the bottom butts up before the top does. And so it won't go any further, but it exposes more of the interior of the pipe than you would normally see in a fitting that's closed up all the way.
Sure, of course.
The
yeah.
bell hub is still like that big. So even though you're seeing that part of it, it's all within the seal. And it's not like this because something is failing. There are instances where this is signs of a failure. That is absolutely normal, and you will see that in probably 65% of the sewers this age. So don't let anyone scare you about that.
Yeah, because there's some dishonest, like, discount rooter or, what's that?
Roto-Rooter is
Roto-Rooter
absolutely
just-
one of the worst.
They're
and
horrible.
everyone
There's
knows
the
it.
ones that told Dad that he had to replace his whole line, like it was gonna be $12,000. And then
This-
Red Quick came in and fixed it for $5,000.
These messy areas like this are just evidence of where it's been backed up before because of those roots. It causes the water to flow up high, and waste that would never touch the top of the pipe does. And it will build up there. Mostly it looks pretty intact. I'm going to try and make sure I don't sling anything on you.
Stand over here.
Stand back.
It does have some formidable roots in it right now, though.
Yeah, it does.
And
But again, $150.
But as far as for being as old as it is, though, I'm not even seeing much in the way of little stress cracks. And frankly, I expect when one this old to see stress cracks. That's something we can discuss too. I'll look around here. Houses of this age group had 2 branches of the sewer. One served the kitchen line and went to a grease trap. Because back in the turn of the century through to the 40s, they didn't have a good way to clean the city sewer if grease was in there all the time. So every house by code had a grease trap. And the small kitchen line would go out, turn into a 4-inch pipe, go to the tank, drop grease and food in, water would exit the other side of the tank. And all of that is still a 4-inch clay tile system, but with almost no access to it. And I would be shocked if anyone could even point out where yours is. 85% of them have been bypassed by now, either in the yard or in the house. But it's very difficult to tell for sure if your has if you can't see it in the house. We can run water in the kitchen and see if we hear it coming through this stack. We could even do that right
Do you want
now.
me to-
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will tell us that, but if it's bypassed in the yard, it's still going to come in that hole that was out there, whether there's a grease trap or not.
Right,
It's
right.
going to end up there. If we can't prove it's been bypassed, if you live here long enough, you might get to be the joyous owner who gets to do that. The kitchen was way over here though, wasn't it? Back over in that corner.
Yeah. Oh, she went upstairs. She goes upstairs. There's 2 kitchens.
Right above.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'd be surprised if it makes it all the way over here to us.
Yeah. Because when we have a baby, because
Yeah,
we're totally accustomed to it.
I had a young single one the other day. She was a crack up because she was there with her sister who has 3 kids. And all the rest of us, I was well immune to this long before kids.
Right.
And it didn't even smell. Now, that's coming from my nose, but it didn't even smell. And she was like trying to watch the whole time like that. And her sister's like,
No, we
what
can't.
are you talking about?
Exactly. It doesn't smell at all.
No, it's not been bypassed in the house. Yeah, you can turn it off. Mostly, don't worry too much about it. Use your kitchen. Go light on the grease.
But we are very light.
Yeah,
on the grease,
go
so-
light on the grease. Make sure you're brushing your stuff off in this trash as much as possible. And if it happens, and you get to be the person to deal with that. Usually, you can get it bypassed for less than $2,000.
So we don't want to use the garbage disposal?
I like to pretend like the garbage disposal doesn't exist, and if I thought I had a grease trap out there, I would definitely pretend like it didn't exist. Because the whole thing about grease traps is they were supposed to get serviced. We're stopping right there.